Before I start this speech, I want to tell you that my lawyer told me that I'm legally required to tell you that I'm pretending to be someone else, and this is statutory content. So, we've always been told by our parents and teachers to study hard for a future, to get high-paid jobs, and to get a good future. Or they'll tell you that if you work hard enough, you might be rich and have your own business. Well, for most people in this world, no matter how hard you try, they'll never be like that. Why? Because those evil capitalist muggers are robbing away our wealth, our freedom, and our future away. So, if I ruled the world, I would perish the devil-spawned capitalism and those capitalist pigs because they are destroying our world with their greed, their jealousy, and their big fat bellies. I will then bring forth the perfect system of communism, because communism is a system of justice. It's a system of equality, and I believe that only communism can turn our world into a true utopia. Communism is a flawless idea, because it is the only system where greed will perish. The poor will no longer suffer, but having a great system also means having a great leader. And I think that I am the great leader. But only I should have the power because I am the only one who knows how to do this. And don't any of you dare question me how I know this. Peasants. But the only, no. I will solve every single world problem at once by executing anyone who say that our world is not perfect. Because if a problem is not acknowledged, then there's no problem. Workers will not complain about wanting to be rich or successful, partly because there will be no rich or successful people in my country. And if anyone doesn't agree with me, I will teach them with a bullet or two. We will achieve everything under my guidance, and I mean everything. If you want to go to space, well, I will make sure that every single one of you work on that for every single second in your life. And we have to achieve that goal by tomorrow. The reason you all should convert to communism is because it is perfect. That's it. It is just perfect. Name me a capitalist country that gives all the power to one man and left the rest of the country starving to death. Can you give me one? Great. If you can name me that country, good job. But how dare you interrupt me during my speech? So moving on. The communist world is perfect for me. I can live like king and eat like a pig. Not the same as those capitalist pigs, of course, but you get what I'm saying. Any country that is communist is also guaranteed to be in the history books. Soviet Union, North Korea, China, they were all remembered as great countries with great and powerful leaders. Communism is perfect because only 2.5 North Koreans died of hunger in the 1990s, compared to 30 million deaths in Europe from the Black Plague in the 16th century. 14 actually. But still, a lot more deaths compared to the righteous communist country. You can probably go and ask anyone in North Korea if they're happy or not, and the answer will be yes. Sometimes they'll say help me, but that's Korean for please report me to the nearest police. I will be rewarded for a good deed. But anyway, the point is that communism is a foolproof concept and that all of you should accept it. Or your economy might drop harder than Greece's, or you see people on strike every day like France, or living in fear of terrorists every day like Americans, your choice. Nowadays, the only thing you pretentious people talk about is equality. Many speech here is also about equality. You only say that, gay people should be seen as the same, or blah blah blah, feminists, blah blah blah. You people wanted equality, and yet you all live in a capitalist country. That's not very equal, is it? You hypocrites. Do you really think that equality will ever be achieved with capitalism? Of course not. If capitalism is perfect, communism wouldn't be created. Our goal is to achieve true equality, no wealth gap. Since you all have to share everything you ever have, well, you won't have anything to share. There'll also be no social status. No one can boast about their new shoes or new cars on Facebook, because Facebook wouldn't exist in my country also, but everything is gonna be great. Does China really need Facebook to be a great country? No, they don't, asked Mike. No matter how powerful or who you are, you have an equal chance of being thrown into my death camps or be fed to the dogs. But by everyone I meant everyone except me, of course, who would do that to their dear leader anyway. Anyway, simple as it is, communism equals equality. Capitalism is not. Many countries are struggling with advancement. They are trying to achieve new technological age, improve medical care, and trying to go out of solar system. But that's one little obstacle in the way. Communism. Capitalism. Communism is great. Many governments decided war is a more worthy cause than improving mankind as a whole. They've spent trillions to improve their arsenal of weapons, but in a communist country, that would not happen. Those rockets you see in North Korea are not weapons, they're space rockets. They're real radioactive powered space rockets. We carry radioactive substance with them because it's science. It's a new invention, it is a revolutionary invention. But all you people thought that North Koreans will only use it for war. Such ridiculousness. Why would they do such a thing? Communists, we would only try to drive the world forward and not to destroy it, unlike those capitalist degenerates. Communism can also change the world as we know it, to be a better, happier world. You want to prevent global warming? Well, great. In a communist country, you won't own a car. And that's the good thing about not having any personal properties. You won't be scared of thieves since they won't steal from you because you don't own anything for them to steal, and every single property in the country is my property, and no one steals from the supreme leader. Because they'll be rightfully tried and will be given a sensible punishment, in which is death because no one steals from leader. Many people nowadays live their life every day wanting to die because of death. In a communist country, there will be no death. And this is good. This is why communism is great. There might be some doubts about communism, since it might be seen too perfect to work. Long ago, one man had doubts in me. He doubted in communism. He doubted that communism will work. He said that it is just a fancy name for a total dictatorship. But worry not, I have enlightened him with gunshot wounds. Such a moron, how dare he question communism? How dare he supported those capitalist thieves? It's like allowing girls to go to school, or feeding the poor, or letting people vote. None of that makes sense. Those selfish demons rule the world with greed and laziness. They should not be favored. But anyway, if you want the answer of why communism is perfect, you will have to talk to me about that in privacy, alone. And tell your whole family that they'll also receive a free trip to go to camping, because I was impressed with your question. So there you have it. What will happen if I rule the world? It will be a perfect world. No more capitalism, no more fear, no more pain. Everyone will be equal. Humanity will rise. We will make communism great again. So to all you here today, I want you to think about the future. The future that is bright red with power communism of hope. No more every man to himself, but only every man for the supreme leader, Kim Jong-il.
Isn't it a horrible situation you are in, where your boy or girl is completely disinterested in anything other than football? They say things like it's the only thing that will make them happy in life? No? Well then. We've got a kid whose future is uncertain, and what I want to do is get more people playing in the big time. My main point is, there should be more opportunity and funding for talented youth to reach their footballing potential. Here's a fun fact. Out of all the people who come into football, only 1% make it out as a pro footballer. It's not a lot. I have a story to tell. There is a person called Simon Minter. He is currently a YouTuber. He makes content such as gaming, vlogs, real-life football videos, and more. When he was young, he applied to many different academies, but was rejected by all. Recently, he has been part of a charity event called the Sideman Charity Match. In this match, he scored 3 goals, one an absolute banger from the halfway line. So his performance got me thinking, that display was a better feat than some players will ever achieve in their entire career. Now, of course, you could make the argument that more people becoming professional footballers is a terrible idea, because as we know, footballers live unhealthy lifestyles. We need people working in more important professions, such as healthcare and education. And what I say to that is, there is no doubt that footballers and football business in general cost way too much money. But then again, don't all celebrity icons? Footballers are inspirational. This inspiration helps people through hard times such as depression. So great players such as Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo can inspire us all with their great achievements. So whether you're doing football, or any sport, or anything that requires any sort of talent, we can look to these people and say, surely, if they can do it, so can I. Oh, and if you didn't understand what I meant by it can help people through hard times like depression, I mean sometimes people feel like nothing and they don't feel like they can do anything. And these great players can inspire them to do better. As well as anything, footballers, when they reach their late 30s, can no longer play football, so they must earn all their money while they are young. So in conclusion, we have discussed a person who was rejected by many different academies, but then showed that he was undiscovered talent. And we have talked about how we need more great players like the great Messis and Ronaldos of the world. And that is why I think we need more people playing in the big time. Thank you.
Do you want to live longer? Do you want to see what the world will be like in the next 80 years? Maybe the world will become more technological. Maybe the cars will fly in the sky. Or do you want to know what the iPhone will be like in the next 80 years? Yes, I want to know. I'm Beauty. If we rule the world, I will make you live longer, healthier, and fully saving innovations. According to the research, 2.8 million people die naturally from eating junk food. I believe you want to be one of those people, including me, because I don't want to die, I want to live longer. Everything you eat is just like a medicine, a good medicine, you know? Every single thing you put inside your mouth is a good medicine. I will make sure, if I rule the world, I will make you live longer. And I will make sure the food we eat will not contaminate with potentially with harmful bacteria, parasites, viruses, toxins, and chemicals. Moreover, I will make an association with other countries to ensure the food safety and food safety policy are in place. I guarantee your food will be clean, healthy, fresh, cheap, and good quality. These 5 things, you deserve it. And the food, organic food will be cheaper, so you more can afford it if you choose to be the ruler. People around the world should produce more organic food, which means the more people produce organic food, the cheaper it will come. And don't worry, no import taxes that means food safety regulations requirements will be introduced as well. And oh my God, trust me, you will live longer and healthier if you choose me to be your ruler. And there will be no anxiety in my world. I mean, not like gone literally, I will reduce the number of anxiety to be lower. And trust me, your money in pocket will not be, will be still thick. It will not be low because your food will be cheaper. The fast pace of lifetime have little time to cook with street food. Everywhere you go, literally in Thailand, you will see street food. Like every place you go, you will see street food. But the problem is, some of you might be scared to try street food due to the different quality of the food. So, what I will improve is, if I rule the world,
We are all born naked. Donald Trump, he was born naked. Your teachers were born naked. Your parents were born naked. But most importantly, you were born naked. Naked I'm using as a metaphor for equal, by the way. We are all born naked. We are all born equal. We are all born equal, but we don't have equal opportunities. Some are born with silver spoons in their mouths, while on the other hand, there are people who don't even have spoons and crave the sensation of finally having a full plate. Some people go to the best schools and the best universities, but some are forced to leave school at the young age of 10. So that would only be a 5. The richest 85 people on the planet have more money than the poorest 3.5 billion combined. 3.5 billion. If I was in charge, that would be different. For my first point, imagine a world where all were equal. The world is at peace. Or forget that, in fact, delete it. There's no way to really achieve world peace. Or is there? I would make it so that it would be impossible to inherit wealth from your elders. You may think I'm not mad, but hear me out. If this law really did come to order, that would mean that no person was born with more opportunities than another. But in my world, the things that would really set one person for another would be how much they committed to society. For example, if one were a doctor, they'll be committing more than for, say, a businessman. Scientists, researchers, engineers, people working to create society, will be the most successful. Funding for research will be unlimited, so at all times, people will be working towards a better future. In my world, people would be wanting cash. No, no, no. I would change the finance system as a whole. Money is literally pointless. It's just a piece of paper, not some sort of almighty object. We all know that money doesn't equal happiness, and that wealth is the pursuit of what's wrong with the world today. So in my world, wealth will be unimportant, and instead, the currency would be happiness and fulfillment. And the people who work for the betterment of humanity would reap the most reward. It's kind of like a living karma, but the more you give, the more you get. All money does is devours the concept of happiness. I was watching a documentary the other night about 2 men. They had 4 children, and one was a multi-millionaire. 2 of the eldest had just turned 16, and they both received a Porsche for their birthday. But they didn't care. They were also doing badly in school, but they didn't care. The point I'm making here is money is empty, it's hollow, and should not be the reward we work towards. Finally, to conclude, I do realize that some of you may strongly disagree with me. But I think this next point will not only persuade you otherwise, but conclude this speech. Let's reduce the 311 million Americans to just 7 people. Teachers, CEOs, scientists, engineers, maybe everybody. I follow them according to their net worth. Highest to the right, lowest to the left. Or to the I've also covered them according to the wealth group. You can see a line back here. This is the ideal amount of wealth Americans think they should have. As you can see, quite reasonable. Moving on, this is what Americans think the distribution of wealth is in America. As you can see, it's not really, sadly, this doesn't even come close to the truth. Here is the actual distribution of wealth in America. The top 1% is 10 times higher than the scale can show. So that's 1% of America. So in this context, that's 1%. 1% of America has 80% of the nation's wealth, while the bottom 80 out of 8 out of every 10 people only has 7% between them. This problem is only becoming worse. We are all born naked, and if I was in charge, we'll be one equal too. Thank you.
Do you want to be happy? Do you want to have a smile on your face and feel cheerful every day of your life? Well, if I ruled the world, I would make that happen. The world would be a happier place for you and your family. Everybody should be happy. There is no reason to say we can't be happy, right? If I ruled the world, I would make the world a happier place by using my non-stop fun ideas. Firstly, I want to ask you, what do you think about color pink? Some people say that pink is a girl's color. But do you know that pink is also mean happiness? If I ruled the world, I would make the world pink week. When everything and everywhere would be absolutely pink. People wear pink, people eat pink stuff, enjoy the entire week with the color pink. And I believe that this will make many little children feel happy for the entire week. And it is important to be happy. When I was young, I had one friend, and her name is Jenny. Jenny always feels unhappy. There never a smile on her face. But then she realized she should be more positive, more cheerful, and always smile. After that, Jenny got to play along with many people. She also made other people smile too. Now she's one of the most happiest person I ever known. I believe that the bright color pink will lift everybody's spirit and lighten up all the bad situation. Don't you see, just only one person's smile can bring many other people's smile. Secondly, I want to talk to you about the world currency. People use money to buy a lot of stuff this day, but don't you ever think it's ridiculous that we use green paper to buy the thing that we need? What I mean is, there's many people out there that try to do a campaign about saving trees. But how are they going to save all those trees when we are using part of it every day? This is when they came up with an ideas. If I rule the world, I would change money into candy. Well, now some people think that it is weird to use candy instead of money. Maybe because they didn't know that we used to pay pink seashell before. Back in Western Africa around mid-19th century, people paid pink seashell and called them shell money. Now that you know about that, the candy isn't weird at all, isn't it? Also, it would be fun to watch people walking around and buy their stuff with candy instead of money. If I rule, it would be a big responsibility for me to rule the world, but I can tell you that if I rule the world would be the happiest place you ever known. I will make sure that the world full of love and laughter. I will make sure that people live together with harmony, like melody, with a beautiful symphony. Thank you.
I want to say something because I'm sensitive, so please excuse my voice. We see new things, meet new people people and befriend new faces every day. Some of them are gorgeous, he thought, but some of them are not quite as good looking. Some of them are perfectly skinny, but some of them could do themselves a favor by shedding a couple more pounds. We humans are natural critics. It's inevitable for us to pick out flaws and imperfections on each other's skin and our own. No matter how many times you've changed your hairstyle or how many hours you spend picking your clothes, you will never be truly satisfied. And no matter who you are or how great you are, there is no way you can run away from it. We look at ourselves in the mirror and never feel truly satisfied. Our appearance that is reflected in a mirror is distorted by socially constructed ideas of beauty. It's ironic how social media gives us the free view to express ourselves and yet oppresses us with criticisms that create beauty standards. According to Blue Bella, a British laundry these are the ideal bodies. Pretty hot, right? I know. So as for women, she has bigger breasts, flatter stomach, skinnier legs, and fuller lips. And as for men, he is more fixed, muscular, tall, and is athletic. Unfortunately, only 5% of the current world population meet these ideal bodies. The amount of people that are affected by these ideal body is immense. According to Glamour magazine, 91% of women want to change their appearance, and on daily, women have 13 negative thoughts on their body per day. Young people like you and I have 47% of them want to change their appearance. So what do? People start to develop eating disorder, develop depression, some even start self-harming. One of the main factors that cause depression is the lack of self-esteem and self-hatred. How many of you here know this woman? Yes, it's Cara Delevingne. She is such a stunning model and gorgeous actress. I know, right? She has recently challenged the stereotypes of model industry with her tomboyish attitude and her bisexuality. And I bet she doesn't have to wake up 30 minutes earlier just to draw perfect arcs on her eyebrows or trace lines around her lips. I also look up to Cristiano Ronaldo because he is such a talented striker and he's naturally charming. Don't get me wrong, I still like Arsenal though. Okay. So, we as a part of society find these people attractive, but they themselves don't. This proves that despite the fact that they have the quintessential appearance, they're still not satisfied with it. It's ironic, really, how a supermodel who had walked the Victoria's Secret runway is insecure about her body as she claimed to ID magazine that she wants to be curvier. And how funny that a 6'1" athlete who had been ranked among top 10 sexiest athletes by several magazines is insecure about his height and his body. Now I want you to sit back, relax, and imagine a world without self-consciousness and self-hatred. I know you won't be able to see drastic difference, but I want you to focus on each and every single individual. Okay, try to imagine an overweight girl who confidently wears bikini by the beach. Or a shorter boy who signs up for a long jump competition. Why? Because they believe in themselves. Imagine a world without people who constantly look down on themselves and criticize each other. And imagine how beautiful and great the world would be. To be honest, I was never happy with my appearance, and I'm still not. Never have I ever felt secure in my own skin or comfortable. So, once I went to attend my sister's wedding, and I wanted to look good, so I spent some time to put some makeup on my face. And then I looked at myself in the mirror, and I felt serenity for 3 whole seconds. Then for 3 whole seconds, I felt comfort. I finally don't have to constantly check in the mirror to check for my flaws, and for 3 whole seconds, I genuinely loved myself. And then I noticed the groupings of my eyeliners, uneven patches of colors on my cheeks, and how uneven my eyebrows are. And then as I left home, my mind started to unravel. I started to overthink, and then at the end of the night, I was so disturbed by my parents that I forgot to enjoy the action party itself. And then I thought, if I rule the world, I will make everyone attractive because then it will be the solution, right? But then I realized our attractiveness is not the problem at all. There is nothing wrong with how you look, or how you look, or how I look, or how we all look, because it's all in here. It's all in our head. And I want to break through this mentality before it breaks into us. Now I can assure you, if this can be stopped, there will be one less girl crying herself to sleep, one less boy suffering from insomnia, one less teen boosting on steroid, and one less person hanging on the rope just because they thought they weren't good enough. Hey, you are worth so much more than you think, and there are people who you haven't met yet who love you. And if I were to be asked the same question, what would you do if you were to rule the world? I would confidently say, if I ruled the world, I would change self-loving to self-loving. Thank you.